Okay, y'all, it's Sue Ann Okerwall again, doing a Course of Miracles video. I'm going to do another one here on forgiveness. It's going to be a little different in a couple of different ways. But anyway, I was just going to show you that in the workbook, I've got the book right here, so I'm going to read some titles that talk about forgiveness. Lesson 121, forgiveness is the key to happiness. Lesson 122, forgiveness offers everything I want. Lesson 249, forgiveness ends all suffering and loss. Lesson 333, forgiveness ends the dreams of conflict here. So what the heck is forgiveness? So I was talking in yesterday's video about how it's basically remembering that nothing happened. So this entire sojourn, journey, useless journey, whatever you want to call it, that has been all of time and space that never actually happened, and we're safe at home, never having left. We're still in the mind of God. And ideas leave not their source. We are the idea of God. It's like the ray of the sun, and God is the sun, we're the rays, and you cannot separate those two from each other. And they never separate and go off to do their own thing. So forgiveness would be the end to all the suffering of all the problems within the dream. Every kind of thought you could have that was negative in the dream. And then there's another one here, I don't know, this just always stands out to me. Lesson 236, I rule my mind, which I alone must rule. So I think it's like really important that you're going to be doing the atonement for yourself, and you're going to be doing a mind training for yourself. Now, many people in the course students will post a lot of things, about helping the world, helping their brother. It really talks more about how you would see your brother. So if you see your brother as a story that you made up about him, you need to forgive that. So you are not your story. They are not their story. Everyone is completely innocent in the right mind without a body. Now, I was talking with some friends. I have like a little Course of Miracles chat group, and we were talking a lot about like how would you know what teacher to follow and what to do. Of course, you are your own teacher, which I talk about all the time from introduction, page 1, manual for teachers, that you are always teaching yourself what you want to learn, and you set the curriculum for it. And you never, there's not a waking second and a sleeping second that you are not teaching yourself. So you can hear what people are teaching themselves. So if you have a teacher that says, like, my mind is now awakened, and I no longer am fooled and duped. I'm no longer hurt by anyone. No one can hurt me. No one can intimidate me. I'm intimidation free. That particular way of saying it would probably lead me to believe that it was the character talking about those things. Because in the right mind, where there's love with no opposite, there's literally nothing moves. It's a complete fullness, like expansion feeling of oneness that can't really be described in any sort of words. But there's no second thing that happens. There's no shoe that drops. So the idea of being intimidated, the idea of being a victim or being attacked, or having an enemy, is not in God's thought at all. He has one thought, which is love. There's no love, and then it's opposite of anger or hate or upset. There are no opposites. It's literally non-dual. Now, I know that word is not used in the Course, and some people are upset by anyone using the non-dual type of teaching with the Course, because that word is not utilized. But it all is implying that there is no body. In fact, the workbook lesson that says, I am not a body, I am free, that one is the most said line in the whole Course. It also says there is no world, and ideas leave not their source. So I've already kind of gone through some of those things. So what I often find is if I'm perusing around on Facebook, I'll happen to see a person who on one hand will say very spiritual things, and then on the very next hand they will be talking very much of the body. Someone brought up that there was somebody that thought they saw their leg disappear, and they're really feeling like so spiritual right now that they're gonna open a retreat center. Like having a leg at all and noticing it's disappearing, believing in a retreat center. This is going to get me crucified by people, because people will listen to this and they will take it all completely wrong, because of course I think it's like 155 that talks about how that those that have not seen the way yet will see you as you were, as like themselves as you were before, and they will not understand, because everybody as the hero of the dream is looking out of their eyes and from the viewpoint of where they think that they are, so that everything that they think that they're seeing is a projection of what is in their mind, so that you will get projected upon as if it seems like you're a victim, but none of it's happening, right? So nothing is happening, literally nothing. So there is nothing to get hung up about, nothing to be upset about. Now, how would you even get to that point of feeling that, and realizing that there's just really nothing to do? Because the right mind doesn't do anything. It's not a doer. You could say it's an experiencer. It's a beingnesser. You start inventing words. Sometimes when I'm typing, I put a word that the English language doesn't even have terminology for. I actually found a lot more terminology in Eastern philosophies, samadhi, samsara, different things where they have literally for like 5,000 years gone through and made a science of what it is to wake up and what's it like after you wake up. So when you just know you're not a body. So, of course, Buddha said, I am awake. And he meant I'm awake from the world. I now know that I made the world, but I'm not it. So that's basically what forgiveness is. So really the only way I ever found to get any sense of this is to look at your thoughts all day long. And that's what forgiveness is. We went over it in yesterday's video, like steps 1 and 2. You have to realize that you're unhappy, and then you have to realize that you would look at what you are looking at. And I talked about how that you're first going to think it's out in a world, and maybe you go to a retreat center. Maybe you just go to a workshop that's for 2 days, Watch who goes to the workshop. Watch who goes and lives at a retreat for 6 months. Watch who goes and opens a retreat. Who is it that does all those things? And when you really look at it and look at what this world is, you will see all of that belongs to the rules of the world. It belongs to characters. It belongs to personalities. And you have chosen a personality and a body and a character, and you walk around as that. Now, what has happened is the identification has gotten misplaced, and the right mind, which is outside time and space, is busy looking out through a projection, out to the very extent, like, that's actually what the great rays are. So it's like we're the great rays. And so now we have gone out to the very extent, like the tip of a great ray, into total physicality and amnesia for anything else that we could be, or that there's any, I want to say, world or beingness that is not the world. It's completely shut off and veiled to us. So to remove the veils slowly, kindly, gently, because you will get a lot of kickback from the ego. Then you look at the ego some more. You look at the kickback. You look at the upsets. And it trying to tell you you're being disloyal. How can you leave everyone behind? How can, it's impossible to do what you're doing. You will have other people that seem like people in your life saying it. You'll have people text it to you and message it to you. And you will hear all sorts of things like it just all kicking up, trying to say that it's impossible what you're doing. But the more you look at it, you realize it's only the character that could ever say such a thing. So this is how you actually become not duped. You're no longer duped by any thoughts, without exception, any thoughts. Okay, we just hit 10 minutes. That's the end of this video.